I start my presentation with a question. I end up with invitation. My question is, how can technology and data analytics help us to unlock the potential of our network, our railway network, and pave the way for the future smarter railway system? All the time when people talk about the future, they tend to focus more on uncertainty, but the right approach to focus on certainty. If you took a mobile industry as an example, when people started to develop a tool to enable to communicate between each other without the need to fix the infrastructure like a landline, they introduced a wiki-tuki style. It wasn't that good, in a good shape, slightly bigger, and also it's very expensive. The first model was costing around $4,000, and with time we start to see far much better models with more advantage, with more facility like messaging, camera, we connected with the internet, endless of applications that we today using in our mobile in every single aspect of our life, entertainment, business, work, everything we use our mobile. But it need to be a mobile. It need to focus on the function, communication function. The same is for railway. We need to stay more safer, faster, and reliable, efficient. And on top of that, we need to stay greener. We still to in line with our goals for zero CO2 emission, in addition to be environmental friendly. By using emerging technology, by using renewable energy, using all means to achieve these goals. And the future railway as well has to stay or will be passenger-centric system. So it focus on passenger needs, passenger comfort. And no doubt artificial intelligence or AI will play massive roles in this. It become now part of our life in every single aspect, and there is no exception for railway. But the question is, how we can do that in a safe way, as a railway system is a very unique system. If we look at what is a different element will give us this future element. Future elements using advanced technology, and we now will connect this example of this CBTC system, which is a communication-based train movement, where we'll enable train to talk to each other, give sensors, algorithms, and communication protocol so trains can communicate. Why we want this? Because currently we have double the demand of railways that we have in 1990. Assuming we can accommodate this demand by building more infrastructure, more track is not visible solution for many reasons. One of this, it is very expensive if we start to think about extend our current network by adding more infrastructure. The other thing, because we adhere to our goals for sustainable and environmental goals. We can't build new, but we can increase the potential of the current one, increase the capacity by enable more train to use the network. Another enabler is a sensor technology. We know now we can be measured every single minute around us, maybe by your mobile, by your Apple Watch, by anything. We can know every single minute what people doing. So we can do the same for trains and infrastructure, railway infrastructure. And we can use a communication system as well that be safe using a latest cyber security strategy. And also we can develop a twin system where we're able to develop a smart infrastructure. When we talk about smart infrastructure, we means like we are able to monitoring our bridges, our tracks in a very consistent way, enables us to predict the fault before it's happened, and this will allow us to cut the down time. This is part of the element. It is not all, because every single day we have a new things coming in, and we are accommodated. We, as a researcher and as a scientist, we have the appetite to do that. If we move from future to now, what we do now to achieve this future? And when we said I talk about IRR, Institute of Railway Research. And actually with our Institute of Railway Research, we have the two elements. We have a perfect human element, a top international scientists who work in different areas. And we have the facility. We have a world level facility that maybe is not exist anywhere. To make things far much easier to follow, I classify our contribution to 4 teams here. The first team is, I will give you a brief idea about our a real size test rags we have to test different scenarios under real life condition without the need to do it with a real staff. The other thing, we advanced technology, advanced approaches to solve the current problem of the railway. Give you here as a smart infrastructure facility we have. I've also, as we mentioned earlier, the new system will be passenger centric. So we have camp simulation where we're able to measure the passenger comfort under different conditions. And then the favorite part, my area, is data analytics. You know that data now is the new oil for our era. It is everywhere, it's being used everywhere, and it will help us to get a more informative decision. So we'll go through this stuff. So I'll start with the full-scale testing. The first one is the full bogie testing rug, and if you are not familiar with what is the meaning of bogie, it is a well-set part of the railway vehicle. Why we very care about this part? Because it delivers stability for the railway vehicle, and also guidance and also suspension. So we have this facility where we can set all this and get real life condition. Why we need this? First of all, we need to study the different things. We need to study the durability. We can accelerate the life cycle and show how different factors affect this important part of the railway vehicle. The other thing, we can test the dynamic and the static loads and study different conditions. And this is very essential for railway industry, because every single day stakeholders, railway industry want to check how different design can still respond to the requirement and the standards. The other facility here in the bottom left is the leaf and ruling adhesion facility lab. Why this is important? Because one of the main challenges for UK is the derailment incident, where the train slide on the track, and it may cause a serious incident. And people and the industry want to know how they can control it, by using water, by using sand, by using pressure. They use different technology to deal with this, and they come to us and test their technology and to get certified and to see how this is going to affect wear and tears for the lunar reg and the track. Another facility is the carbon fiber bogie frame, which is the first in UK and maybe in the worldwide in this size. We use a specific material to book the frame very light, and it's this frame being designed by a British company and in cooperation with IRR. And the last but not least is the AC inductive braking system, which is braking system is very essential for a train, because it's consuming a lot of energy. You need to cut the energy using a very intelligent way to stop the train in a very efficient way and safe way as well. So we have this facility and we work on it, and we deliver world class level of research. And still maybe the unique things about IRR, we are very, very close from the industry. So every single thing we do it, regardless is a full-scale testing or data analytics, we're in communication with day-to-day operational people to know their impression, to know their feedback, and how we take this to the second level. If you move to another part, this is another lab, is pantograph and the catenary research facility. If you are not familiar with what this means, don't worry. Pantograph is a device being fixed on top of a high-speed train, and the main objective of this device or equipment is to take the electricity from the infrastructure to the train to be used. Catenary is just a special supply line along the train to deliver this to the pantograph. Why this is very important part of the train? Because it helps people to move to the electrification. If we need to use study all the dynamics of this feed, electrical feed, and we need to understand how different design of the pantograph can affect this process, and simulate this and test it in a real life size, not in under different condition. And we also embedded this platform with a lot of sensor to understand the measure and get more insight from the data. We also in a very good contact with industry to give them our feedback and listen to their needs. We move now to totally different things about the passenger comfort. We have a very real simulation, but we call it Thomas. It's enable passenger to feel the same feeling when they are in the train. So we are able to test level of comfort regardless the air pollution, regardless noise level, regardless the movement, road curvature, everything. And we also work with the company who design this part of the train and able to see the impact of different seat arrangement, the impact of the size, everything we can test it to deliver the most comfort level for the passenger. Here we move to a smart infrastructure. What I mean by smart infrastructure is the ability to measure heartbeat of the structure. So why we need this? Because we need to develop a predictive model to make a smart maintenance. Smart maintenance is a major part of the railway system because it enables the continuity of the system, like we cut the downtime for a train, track, everything. And the ability to introduce a report and machine learning to this will help a lot, because still until we wait until a certain fault happen, we're able to interact and do it before the. So instead of you have timetable for the maintenance, you have a maintenance scheme that reflects the current condition. And this is why our team in the smart infrastructure rolling stock work very, very close from industry to give them our insight all the time and give their feedback. Now we move to totally different things. We finished now the real life facility test, which is very close connected with the industry in terms of people who make the train, use the train, and all of this stuff, to another thing, to the data analytics. Data analytics is an essential part of the future because for the first time we have data about everything. Imagine every single action being taken by train driver, we know about it. The advantage of this data analytic is it gives you a chance to take a decision based on data, and also big a chance to review your performance. We have two examples here. The first example talking about automated train driver competency indicator. What I mean by this, when you drive a train, every single action being recorded. And for many years now, this type of data is underused. People doesn't use it because they don't have a good idea about how I can use it. So what we do, we collected this data and we do interview with the train driver, we do interviews with the train driver manager and other people in this stock. And we also myself go and sit in the train cab, train driver cab, and watching him closely and see how he take a decision. The main idea is I want to convert the standard process for assessment, competency assessment, to measurable framework, quantitative data. The idea of this to enable more fair assessment for the driver, because now there is a rules and it's not subjective on the assessors, and in the same time we allow to cover a wide range of situations. The current assessment is based on twice a year, and where the train driver manager sit with her in the cab and try to assess him or her. But with the new system, he been assessed around the year after different conditions. And also the importance of this framework is give a driver an idea about his or her performance, because sometimes the driver have a perceived idea about his performance, but when you look at the data, it's slightly different. And they can learn from this process. So the first chart, for example, here in top right, showing you number of racks, number of red or blue. Racks is a system we developed to say, oh, hang on, there is a problem here. He might exceed the braking use, he might exceed the speed, he might doesn't use the proper safety device in a certain time. This is a 3-color here, is a 3-color scheme. So we able to measure this and give it to the driver per day or per station. to discuss it with him. It's not like a carrot style, a carrot and stick. It's not. It's a way to improve the situation, to add to his knowledge about his or her behavior. Another way is we can sum up this per driver and tell him or her what is this means compared by the whole cohort. Are you in the first quarter a perfect driver, or in the middle one from 25 to 75 or 60? There is a problem here, but you are in the middle zone, or in extremely red zone in the top 25. So you need to be careful here because you've been flagged too much. The good thing about when we come to validate what we produce, we compare it with the incident record of the driver, and it's quite matching. Like driver who is in top 25 in dangerous zone is the same zone in incident record. It seems like the framework we developed is really matching with the current situation. We also tell the company it is not all about the driver. You can also look at the whole cohort. You can look at how the whole cohort of your driver work, and this will give you an idea about if you need to deliver a certain training, if you need to improve the whole system. Is not only a one driver. If the middle part increase in rags, increase in flagged one, this means there is something wrong as a whole. You may be able to deliver a certain training, or there is a problem, like in the bottom here, is a problem with the location. The driver needs support for this location, or you need to maybe make the speed indicator more visible. It's not only one driver is coming up with the whole driver have the same problem in the same situation. We also have more than this. We introduce this for a specific kind of driver. It's like post-qualification driver who recently joined the job, thus to tolerate the training according to their need. This is one project. The second project took it more holistic approach. We want to help all the industry to understand train delay. One of the main challenges for for performance teams in network in train company, because normally they know they for example they know the delay between Bradford and Pudsey, but they have no idea about what's going on between Bradford and Pudsey. We take this section and divide it into signal to signal. So the train movement related with the signal to signal. He has to have a green, yellow signal to proceed. If you have a red one, he has to stop. It's typical like a route environment. But we able to deliver delays in different analysis for this signal to signal, and it's been known as a burst level. I'll try to join here the online coverage, because to make it accessible for everyone, to make it accessible for our stakeholders, we need to give them an online version. The advantage of online version is to give you an idea to share your work. Because normally when we do our work, if we don't produce something to talk to with industry, industrial people need to say something tangible all the time. You took a perfect approach, you develop a framework. What is the tool? How I can use it? And another advantage of develop a tool which can be accessible from anywhere is take their feedback, because at the end we are scientific, we are academic people, we are doing a research. We need to listen for industrial people who already struggle with this problem. So we developed this tool to keep the communication alive between us. And this is an example of tools we developed. It is called Rabbits, and it is read aspect per train surface. The functionality we have here, eight tabs. The first one give you, as you show here, give you as a comparison between average time and the burst time, the time taken between signal to signal, and the average. So when the operational team looking at this, they can see where is the problem by comparing the actual time and the average time. And we color this in gray if we don't know the signal, because not all the signal available, or if it's green, this means the signal is not red, so there is no red signal here. And we take this to another level. We here like The other thing is we introduce the delay. What is the delay for this piece of track? And actually the advantage of this, they can straight away look at a specific area and say, oh, there is a problem here. And if we look at that all the days, I know if this is a recurrent problem, every single day I have a delay in a certain location, so I need to take action. Or is just a local condition. Is this happened today, maybe because another train been in front and have a problem, or maybe another connection. So he can look at a specific day and try to understand if this is a dominant delay, happen every day. And this is another way, if this delay, how he accumulate. If you have a certain time, you have a delay here, but you can recover in the next piece of track, or the delay start to build up once you happen in a certain location. Because people most of the time come to us and say, okay, I don't want to look at numbers, okay? Fair enough. I want to have some visual. So we introduce here a map, which every single cycle represents a signal, traffic signal, and the black square represent a time point. Time points aggregate the delay between two pieces. Like if you have many signals, the time point here recorded at the delay, and the time point here is recorded. And there is a lot of signals in between. And also get some signal with a red circle around it, 1 or 2. The what means this signal is a dangerous signal. It's been spotted before. It's been passed as dangerous before. If it's double, it means it is still a warning one. It's not preview. So it's within the last 5 years, it's been spotted many times. So the driver has to be careful about this one. If you click anyone, you will have a sum up information about tell the driver and operational team if this certain signal lost, if the time you lost is really because there is signal or there is another cause. So in the blue graph, you have a sum up a signal aspect. Like here we can see for this specific journey, the driver saved a lot of time by green, because it is minus, he able to save time. Will he lose a lot of time because of the red aspect and the other aspect which is not known to us because the data coverage. If you scroll it a little bit down, you can say here how different delay built up through the entire journey. It is very important for you because sometimes the operational team need to say, so what? Where I am, how this delay related with a specific station to station or the entire journey. If my journey is delaying all the time, or it pick up sometimes and recover another time. Like for this, they have a delay at the beginning, and then he able to recover all the journey, but unfortunately at the end the signal, the red one, he had a lot of delay. So he can say, he can respond to this, the management team or the performance team can respond to that by identifying what happened in this signal, if this is happened because the delay at the beginning, even if the driver is saving time through the journal. This is very important aspect for the performance team. So I'll back now to my presentation. So before I leave you, this is actually my end slide in terms of what we're doing in IRR. It is not all because of time limitation. I'm just trying to give you just a quick idea about the facility we have and the team, the data analytics we do and advanced approaches in reports and machine learning. But as I said, I start my presentation by a question. I will end by invitation. My invitation is if you are in a time where you decided for your direction and you think you have the skills and to be an engineer, please join. You'll join an extraordinary thing. You are, with engineering, you have the ability to change the future, be part of it. And also engineering, regardless if they build a house, they build a train, they build an airplane, all the time, engineering has the ability to turn dreams to tangible, to take things and solve it to make people happier, safer, and more smarter. Thank you.
Have a seat. So my observation really is that your work really does impact on people through safety, through getting to work on time, simple things like that does affect well-being and happiness, but also has a massive impact on the environment as well.
Yes, this is normally when you look at the transport system and you try to introduce a new innovation, you have to take part environmental, because now you can't ignore it. We see that climate change everywhere now. We experience it, so we need to keep in mind we have to stay greener.
Yeah. So my first question is, what's the main driver for you then? Is the passion the trains, or is it the impact that you're having on people?
I think it is always, because engineering is about tangible things. So I'm always keen to solve a problem as a problem solver. So it's always how to make people's life is better. And actually, when you do something, because it's a railway, something is shared by all the world. So if you introduce something here in UK, even you work with UK, you work with Network Rail, with local, national things, but still your impact will reach international. If you solve a problem here, it can help someone you never met anyway, and the other part of the world. This is I didn't say this is a unique thing for Railway, but this is how do you feel about my day-to-day work.
Brilliant, and you obviously enjoy it. I'll open it up to the floor first. Are there any questions from our live audience or our live stream? So that's a good question. The question was, you talked about train drivers speeding at times. Are there any moves to automate the system and get rid of the train drivers?
I don't think I recommended this, because I believe a human part is essential part in any system, especially for train. Even now we have train being automated, to be honest, and you got a system like a train driver is the observer. And but still the train driver it's just, you can look at it, it's like you may change the scales, you may change his day-to-day job, but remove from system, I don't think I'm supported as, because he's still essential part. He is a safeguard if the technology is failed. He's the one who able to do a good decision is a good time.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so do you have any specific advice for women wanting to get involved in engineering?
If you want, just do it. If you want, just do it. This is my advice. Don't listen to anyone. Don't use it as that, oh, as a woman, you may not have a chance to have a good job. No, don't listen. Because this is actually about my story as well. I know I've been I moved to UK after my marriage, after I graduated, and I spent 15 years without a job, stay at home. I didn't say without a job, a full-time job as a mom for 3 kids, but not with technology and science and engineering. But after 15 years, I decided to go back, and actually, I'm now here. I'm a senior research fellow. If I do it, you can do it simply. If really keen to be an engineer, just be an engineer. Don't listen to anyone. Listen to your passion and skills, and that's it. You need to be committed to what you like to do. This is my advice, commitment.
So, and as a woman in engineering myself, I've found role models really helped my career and helped my passion grow for engineering. Is there anybody that stands out for you that's inspired you along your journey?
Yeah, it might be strange for the person is inspired me, which I never met, I never know him in person, but it started from my parents. When I born, my uncle came to my dad and mom and said, "Did you mind to call her Rawia?" I said, "What's behind this?" Because Rawia by that time is not a new name, slightly old name. I said he just met his first engineer in his company, and she's Rawia, and he's fascinated with her. She's very competent, she's very confident, and he said, "I wish the new Rawia achieves the same was like so." So I never met her in person, but since then my uncle keep me updated about every single step she made, and she reached to be as a CEO for the company, and which is very unique. If you took back, she started in 1970, and she managed to hail her way back to this with a company with 99% not as a man one. So this is the one I keep looking at her. So even I never look at his future, but I'm always know his news. I used to hear her news from my uncle, how she step by step, and actually she was so friendly, attached with her teams, her colleagues, and actually maybe she was lucky because nobody tried to stop her from proceed to a successful. So this is Rawia. I choose her, take her name. I never met, but she's in my back back mind all the time.
Great. So your inspiration's your namesake.
Yeah,
you're brilliant. Yeah, that's great. Have we got any other questions? Oh, great question.
Yeah,
so what qualifications do you need to become a woman in engineering?
Railway is very unique engineering. Like, we don't have a specific department to be a railway engineering. You can say it's a mix between a civil engineer, because part of the railway job is a civil engineering. You can say it's a mechanical engineering. Definitely, if you go to if you are keen or passionate about the train itself, I would say mechanical engineering. If you're keen about the data analytics part, maybe computer science will help. So it is the area, it's very flexible, very welcoming, because it's a lot of interdisciplinary area. Like, I met people brilliant in railway engineering, but they coming from human factor parts, psychology and this stuff. So it's quite welcome. I see it's quite welcome discipline. Myself, I do my Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, my Master in Energy and Environment, my PhD in Road Transport Network Modeling. So it's nothing related with that. But when I joined Railway, because, it's a very lovely area, and also we are lucky in IRR because we have a very friendly, supportive teams around us. It's one talk I can know the whole Wikipedia about engineering and train by talking with my next desk colleague. So it's quite wide. If you passionate about computer, maybe computer science. If you like, for me, I like building, so I'm civil engineering. If you want to focus on train, mechanical engineering definitely would be the answer.
It's a very diverse discipline, isn't
and
it? Really
if you want to think about people who work in engineering way, maybe it's a human factor, because human factor is a very, very essential part in railway. And to be honest, in UK we are so lucky because we have one of the strongest human factor in railway. We have, for example, RSP, as you got a very strong team in human factor. We have another university. Here in Huddersfield, we don't so far, but I wish we could develop it in the future.
We've got another, we've got one in the room first. Yes, great question. Did you have any struggles that you had to get through?
Do you think any great work can be done without struggle? Do you think so? If you do a good job, you need to pay the price. I mean, if I said, no, my career was lovely, I was enjoyed it every single bit, I would be lying. And I don't like to lie. So, I mean, it's dependent on your goal. The more your goal is good, it deserves to pay for it. Like, if you want to have a bag with 10 pounds, you can have a bag with 10 pounds. If you have a bag with 100 pounds, stay for 10, 20 years, you pay for this. So it is not something pain-free. But pain is part of success. You need to be committed, and if you like it, you will do it. That's it.
Okay. And then we had another one online.
So one from the chat. To what extent does the role of AI play in the railway network?
So to what extent does the role of AI play in the rail network?
We are prepared to use it everywhere, to be honest. We use it from the hardware and use it in software analysis. It's a dominant now. We can't ignore it anymore. And actually, we start thinking about the safety issues related with this, because it's not like ChatGPT, because you answer the question, accept the answer or reject it. In railway, you have to check it from the safety perspective. So we are ready, we are willing, and we are very open, but caution is required. We need to drive very slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, is that all the questions from the floor? My last question for you then. You've already talked about how you might get into engineering as a woman, but what one piece of advice would you give to somebody who's considering it as a future career?
Commitment to what they're willing to do. Like, commitment is the secret for any successful. Don't accept anything if you want to do this one. So if you commit to what you want, everyone will accept that. Everyone will give you a chance. Or you will take your chance by your own, but it's commitment. Yeah, I think commitment is everywhere.
Commitment and hard work is what you've displayed. So brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. Hope you've enjoyed the talk. I'm sure that for any of you in the room, Rawia will be happy to answer further questions.
Sure.
But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today.